When I was 17, I got incarcerated. That didn't help. The idea of incarceration didn't help, or being placed in a specific location for a set period of time doesn't help. But for me, what really did help was, again, being surrounded by community. Oddly enough, is that the same community, a very similar community that I grew up with outside, was almost a similar community that I saw inside. Even some of the friends that I went to middle school with and high school with, I ran into while in prison. For me, although it's a very hyper-masculine, very violent setting, for me, what I found most, where I refound myself was being able to connect with others that were very much like me. Again, it goes back to the idea of even with the circles of graffiti, which were individuals that we all had something, in our past, in our families, in our backgrounds that we didn't know how to talk about. And for me, what really did it was, one, coming to terms with, these who my folks were, including myself, that I came from this direct community and still a part of it. And while being inside was not so much blaming everything around me, but just, embracing it. And when I say embracing it, it's not to give props to the negativity. It's to say, you know what? These are actual ways that traditionally have been passed down to us, right? That we learn how to cope with things. Although they may not be right, they are remedies of some sort. And the moment for me shifted, it was when, running into prison, seeing people in there that had several life sentences, seeing people in there that were in there since the 70s. And for me, is when I first hit my first yard and I was there, I ran to a guy and I asked him, "Hey, what are you here for?" He said, "I'm here for attempted murder." And I said, "Well, I'm here for that too." Not a funny thing, but... And I asked him, "How long you been here for?" He said, "Well, I've been here for about 15 years. And I said, "Oh, wow." He had also came in when he was 17. He was 32 years old at the time. But he had gotten a life sentence while I had received 22 years. And so for me, that was a direct image of me, what I would have looked like in 15 years. And it scared me because I saw that he was still going to be here. And I just didn't know how to imagine how it was to be older, to have an older body. Like, how do you grow in here? But later with time, I started realizing that you do grow in there. You do continue to live, to exist. You do have laughs. You allow yourself to laugh and to have fun and rejoice with others. And to me, that was like the centerpiece that I found. That was like the main thing missing, even when I was growing up, was to have a group of folks that I could call family. And when I say family, I don't just mean the traditional family where it's like it's a title given to you and you share a last name. It was people that showed up for one another in hard times, and that sometimes even risked themselves for you because they cared about you so much. And when the moment I realized this, it was no issue anymore. I became more happy with myself and comfortable with what I had done. I became comfortable with those around me. And instead of sometimes, building this hierarchy of badness where you say, well, I didn't kill nobody, so it isn't that bad. Or I don't use drugs, so at least I'm not that bad. Instead, what I just began to see was, I can't wait till, they can get home. Till we can all get home. And that to me is what really shifted it, was I was able to find, comfort with others.